today on Divorce Court.
Teresa, I brung you to divorce court so that you will stop accusing me of other women. You take it to the extreme.
You cheated on me with our ring on your finger. The reason why I act the way I act comes from that.
When are you gonna let it go and stop bringing it into our present relationship? We'll see what the judge has to say about our situation.
Well, hell, I
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Stephen Allen and Teresa Allen. The two of you have been together for 2 years, married for 1. You are in trouble at this point, and you've come to see me. Mr. Allen, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why we're here today?
Well, we met in February of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
We got married on March 30th.
Okay.
Of the following year.
Okay.
Actually, it's the 29th. Let me read.
Yeah, get it right. You don't want to get that one wrong.
Yeah, I don't want to get that one wrong. And we're here today because of her unwarranted jealousies, her anger issues, and to give you a prime example, not long ago, we were at the grocery store, and I came outside to make sure that the car doors was locked because I left my phone in the car. And as we were going in, there was a couple in distress trying to get into their car. When I went back out, they were still out there, so I offered to help them get into the car.
Right.
And as I did, spent maybe 5 to 7 minutes out there, I got the keys out of the car, and when I turned around, Mrs. Allen was standing there breathing fire out of her nose. She was upset with me because I left her in the street.
Well, what did she say or do?
Nothing at that point, but when we left their presence and got in the car, she cut into me with her jealousy, accusing me.
What did she say?
She accused me of coming outside only for the sole purpose of looking at this young lady because she was nice looking, and she constantly accuses me of women all the time.
Mrs. Allen, did that happen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, do you really think he was out there just because it was a couple? Was it a man and a woman?
Yes, it was a man and a woman.
That he wanted to look at this woman. Why do you believe that?
Well, we have issues with him, infidelity. And
explain that. Have you caught him cheating on you?
Yes, I have. I haven't caught him per se, but the evidence is
You
there.
haven't caught him per se?
I haven't caught him.
Now, what evidence do you have that leads you to believe that he's cheating, even though you haven't
Well,
caught
I had
him?
a conversation with an ex of his on the phone that called him. And when she called, she addressed herself as the girlfriend. And I told her I thought I was the girlfriend. So
How'd that conversation end?
that conversation ended, him and her talking back and forth or whatever, and we ended up getting some of his things from her place, and he's been with me ever since.
Now, was there a rough transition there? You were still messing with the ex a little bit?
No.
So you weren't fooling around with the ex at all?
No, ma'am.
There was
But
nothing happening?
There was nothing happening. We had been in a relationship prior to me meeting Mrs. Allen.
So she was just trying to cause trouble?
She considered herself to be a cordial acquaintance of mine. She says that's impossible, that we can't have any contact, none whatsoever, but I have no control over someone calling my phone.
Do you not believe that she said she was your girlfriend?
Oh, she probably did tell her that. No, quote unquote. Me and him will always have a relationship. That was what was said. Not in the context of we're in a relationship.
We're in a relationship, but we'll always
be acquainted.
Beyond that conversation, do you have any other evidence that would lead one to believe that he's cheating? Because so far, that's pretty light.
Yes, I do. I've seen pictures in her phone of Stephen Allen and her getting ready to go out, and he was in his underwear at her house. So yes, I have.
When did you see these pictures?
That was back a couple months ago.
Were you in her house in your underwear a couple months ago? Took a snap?
No. No, she's mistaken about the date. That was in the transition. Okay, let me say this. We had got into an altercation.
Yes.
And I wind up leaving.
Yes.
And when I left, me having nowhere else to go, this is a friend, per se, that was able, she let me stay at her house. There was nothing going on.
Nothing going on.
Nothing going on. And you know how women are. They do things I mean,
how are we? Why don't you tell me how we are, Mr. Allen?
Sometimes women,
I'd like to know.
Sometimes women can be vindictive.
What?
Women can be vindictive. They do things out of spite, trying to make things.
So this woman was just a friend.
Yes.
Never was anything but a friend.
No, this was the ex.
The ex.
Yes.
Don't you think that's not the brightest move to make? Even if you weren't trying to get back with her, it would upset the ex because she used to have feelings for you, and it would upset the current because you're with the ex. I mean, like, you know, a motel or something.
Convenience. Economically sound. No. Why would I pay for a hotel when I can sleep here? She works midnights. She's never at home.
Because it causes trouble with your wife.
Right.
But if my wife hadn't been in my phone, we would never had no trouble.
Your Honor.
Yes, Mrs. Allen.
I feel like if he's been intimate with her before, he cannot live at or stay at her house. That's like...
Would you have a problem if Mrs. Allen had an ex-boyfriend, you guys got into an argument, she went over there and stayed at his crib? Would you be okay with that?
Not at all.
There you go.
Not at all. Not at all.
That's what I'm saying.
Not at all.
Sometimes, you know, the economically, convenient thing to do is not the maritally correct thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
You got to honor and respect other person's feelings.
I understand
just like
that too.
she needs to honor and respect yours. So you realize you were wrong about that, right?
No doubt.
There you go.
And have asked for forgiveness. And I know it was a bad choice.
Okay, all righty. Ms. Allen, anything else?
But for there to be a second time, you can't get forgiveness for a third.
What happened the third time?
There was no third time. There was a second. So he don't get no more forgiveness.
Was there a second?
A text message with my name on it from her.
It says Steve with the exclamation point, 3 of them.
All right. I don't think we'll ever get to the bottom of this. I'm not altogether sure what happened. And I think he's not doing real wrong, but I think he's kind of wrong. But I want to talk about what happens when you guys argue about whatever wrong he may or may not be doing.
During a period, shortly after that, when I left, I stayed gone. She had cut up half of my clothes, put them in the tub and poured bleach on them. She knocked the 50-inch screen TV that I bought her from Christmas off and broke it too.
Mrs. Allen, did all that occur? Mr. Allen, I understand that when she gets angry about whether or not she believes you're cheating, it's explosive.
Very much so.
Could you give me some examples?
Yes. I brung a couple of photos.
Oh, you got pictures?
Yes. Give those to the judge.
Now tell me what I'm looking at, Mr. Allen.
You're looking at our vehicle on one of the pictures, and on the other picture is a trunk that I keep tools, whatnots in. That's the front left fender of a SUV.
There's a dent.
Looking at the chrome.
It's a dent and a scratch.
I take it Mrs. Allen did that.
Yes.
Did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you manage that?
Well, on one of his occasions where he was getting ready to leave the house because we had gotten into an argument or whatever, I asked him not to leave in the car, and he went and got in the car to start it. I looked around, I couldn't find nothing, so I picked up that chest and I took it and I hauled it at the car and hit the car. I know.
Was he leaving or was he running away from you?
He was running away from me. He was getting away from me.
Do you have a bad temper?
Only when it comes to him.
And that's all we're talking about here is him.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
So what did you think? You said, hey, let me haul off, throw this chest at the car, and he'll think, let me stay?
No.
You were just
it
mad.
made me feel good at the moment.
It made you feel good at the moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me other instances that she got angry and upset.
Okay.
And acted a fool.
During a period, shortly after that, when I left, I stayed gone. Didn't find out until I did come back home that she had cut up half of my clothes, put them in the tub and poured bleach on them. And she says it was an accident, but she knocked the 50-inch screen TV that I bought her from Christmas off and broke it too.
Mrs. Allen, did all that occur?
Yeah.
And again, you weren't trying to prove a point. You were just mad and you were taking it out on his stuff.
Yes.
And I take it from your response, you know how wrong that is, right?
I know how wrong that is, but if Mr. Allen would cut this woman out of his life, I wouldn't cut up his clothes.
But Judge Toler,
Yes.
we are together. If we're not at work, 99% of our time is
you
spent
together.
together. So where does it leave time for me to put in the work to have another woman? And who wants more than I got enough on my plate right now? I mean, it's plain and simple.
Now, Mrs. Allen, he's kind of got a point there. You know what I mean? I'm sure he spends a lot of time with you because you can't make something like that up because you would know. And then, you know, you're a pretty thing over there.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know, married you, and he loves you, and he's scared of you.
Right.
So why the tension over this one woman?
I feel like I'm stuck back there where it began.
All right.
I really do.
That's an explanation I can work with.
All right.
The question that I ask is, how do you define cheating? She said, cheating is when your spouse shares intimacy with someone other than you. That's what she considers cheating. Let me tell you what you're doing wrong, Mr. Allen. Now, Mr. Allen, you say Mrs. Allen has a gambling addiction, and Mrs. Allen, you say Mr. Allen spends way too much money on cigarettes. Mr. Allen, why don't you tell me about the nature of her addiction?
The casino is something that she does as far as she has fun doing it. Mm-hmm. But I try to get her to understand that economically, that type of fun is not feasible when we can't afford it.
Right.
So she'll sometimes take $100, $200. Sometimes she'll take $300 and go to the casino under the pretense that it's gonna hit. And she's gonna win a jackpot or $1,000 or something, and then she comes home with the pouty face because the casino
Got all
didn't
her
do
money.
what she thought it was gonna do.
Now, Ms. Allen, how often do you go to the casino?
Well, I used to go like 2 or 3 times a week, but since I've been with him,
Woo! Yes, sir.
since I've been with him though, I have slowed down. I go maybe once a week, spend $100.
And that's not every week. I'm gonna give her something.
Do you ever hit? Do you ever make any money? Do you ever win?
Sometimes it feels like donating. It does. But since I've been with him, I've slowed down a lot, and I don't want to just give up every little thing I have. So I might need to just find something that doesn't take money to, you know, interest.
Or else you get something back out of it. You can go take I took ice skating lessons.
Right.
You know, just whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what I did. But
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Why don't you tell me about his cigarettes? How much could he be spending in cigarettes?
Well, he smokes I think 2 packs a day.
A day?
I think 2 packs a day.
Now,
but
Miss-
he's in denial.
Mr. Allen, do you smoke 2 packs a day?
No, there's something that goes along with the cigarettes. I smoke a pack of cigarettes a day,
A pack of cigarettes. What goes along with
but I
the-
drink beer. I
Okay.
drink beer.
So-
Cash social split. I drink a 6-pack.
You drink a 6-pack every day?
Not every day.
You smoke
I
a
smoke a
pack-
pack of cigarettes every day.
Now,
Sometimes
you
a
do know
pack and
it's
a half.
killing you slowly.
Right.
Right, you know that, right?
But life is.
But when the cigarettes do it, goes to the lungs, and them last 9 months are hard. And it takes years off your life. Years. You know?
That might
and
be
you're
true.
paying a company to kill you slowly.
That might be true.
You know what I'm saying? That's worse. I'd rather you go gamble, you take your $100, you at least come out.
I don't know.
I don't know. They smoke a lot in there, don't they? You probably
Yeah.
getting a lot of
There's a lot-
secondhand
and the
smoke. But I'm
secondhand
just
smoke,
telling you,
okay.
just, you know, economically don't make a whole lot of sense, but, you know, health-wise it don't make a whole lot of sense. And just cut down.
I've even
I have
asked him to
cut
cut
it
down.
back.
And continue to do so.
I have cut back.
And continue to do so. You with me?
Yes.
All right. I usually give my compatibility test to my before your vows, but this is a save my marriage. So sometimes I give them to my save my marriage couple so I can sift through the problems and see where your issues lie. And I think I found out where your problem is.
Okay.
The very last question that I ask is, how do you define cheating? You said what most folks say, you know, sexual intimacy with. She said, cheating is when your spouse shares intimacy with someone other than you. That's what she considers cheating. Let me tell you what you're doing wrong, Mr. Allen. When you get married, sometimes you have to make adjustments. If there is somebody in your life that causes her foundation to be shaken, you gotta be able to, if not eliminate, separate yourself enough to give her calm, comfort, and care. And you may have the right to stay friends with your ex, but you told this woman that you would love, honor, and cherish her. And part of that is making her feel secure. And that relationship you have with that woman is making her insecure. And you have to decide whether or not you love your wife the way a man ought to love your wife and keep her safe and secure. You gotta ask yourself that. It may not be the convenient thing for you to do. It may not be the thing that you wanna do, but you gotta ask yourself, is it the thing I'm man enough to do for my woman? Doesn't mean you were wrong, but it's hurtful to her. And you gotta ask yourself, how right kind of a guy do I wanna be? Because I love her.
Because I do love her. And this is what I've been trying to exemplify to her over this last...
And there's one thing that you need to do in order to show her that, and is discontinue contact with this other woman.
I have.
That's it, and that's all.
I have.
Has he?
I'm not sure.
Now listen, if she's let her go, you need to let it go.
I will let it go.
Because you can't beat him up with what he used to do, and he has no reason to do better if you're going to continue to beat him up with what he used to do. What kind of sense does that make?
I think I have to say this right here, though, because it's only been a couple of weeks ago when she texted him that Steve with the explanation. It's only been a couple of weeks.
But I have no control. And be honest, Mrs. Allen. How did that woman get my phone number? Tell the truth.
A long time ago.
Now,
Mrs.
you
Allen,
see the deflection?
Mr. and Mrs. Allen, I like you both. I do. I think you are a great couple. I think you love the living daylights out of one another. I don't think he's fooling around with this woman. I think this woman might be trying to poke a little bit because people can do that.
Right.
People can do that. But you just make sure you're over the top with making sure that she doesn't feel insecure about this woman. Love her, honor, cherish her, and go on home. This matter's adjourned.
All right, thank you. You got away. As Judge Lynn suggested, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that she feels secure and safe in regards to this other woman. I'm going to sever all ties and make it impossible for her to contact me because I surely won't be contacting her.
I think I'm going to take Judge Lynn's advice and give my husband another chance and work on my trust issues. And I love her, so it's worth it.